There's something we're going to see more and more of, I think, in the years to come, and that is that those who are in charge, the regime, are losing their grip. They're losing their grip in claims of legitimacy, and they're more and more willing to forfeit any appearance of legitimacy in order to retain their hold on power. And that's should not be underestimated, because when you lose the appearance of legitimacy and it becomes clearer that you lack legitimacy and that the only thing you're clinging to is sheer raw power, i.e. you have access to the coercive power of the established order, and those who oppose you lack that same coercive power. When you forfeit the appearance of legitimacy, you lose a lot. In fact, you lose, in a sense, everything. Because what is the whole idea of civics, the whole religion of civics? What is it based on? It's based on the idea that the state gains its legitimate power from the consent of the governed, or from not being some arbitrary dictatorial mafia-esque sort of thing that just terrorizes, that enforces its dictates through terror and coercion, but rather that it's a fair and legitimate enterprise. That's what, those who appeal to civics, appeal to civic virtue. That's what they make reference to. And when it becomes more and more clear to more and more people that you are losing the plot, as it is said, that you're losing grip on the appearance of legitimacy, then you see a rise in cynicism. You see a rise in people not taking this religion of civics seriously. And that means you lose the halo that you have accumulated or ostensibly earned by having this aura of legitimacy about you. What have we seen, over the last few years? I mean, I don't even know. I don't know if I have to go all the way back to 9/11, but there's greater and greater cynicism about about that event, about what really happened there. But I mean, let's just go back to 2020. I mean, it's completely mainstream right now to see that what was enforced during the year 2020 was completely arbitrary, completely illegitimate. That everything we were being told, we weren't just being told, it was being shoved down our throats, and alternative ideas were being actively censored. I know, because I was one of the I was one of those with alternative ideas. Perhaps you were as well, or perhaps you liked to consume those with alternative ideas, and as did I. But it's become completely legitimate now to say, like even papers of record like the New York Times are running articles saying, we didn't know what we were doing back then. That, the things we were enforcing back then were ridiculous. And it wasn't that long ago. It was just a spit ago. Barely a spit ago that stuff was happening. But of course, more recently, things like the Nord Stream pipeline. We all know what happened there, right? We know who did that. Those who are paying attention. Many people don't know what I'm talking about when I mention that, but look it up. And there's no dispute over who really did it. Okay. And why they did it. And everything that was being pursued since 2022 with regard to Ukraine. And the way that they used lawfare against Trump, or attempted to, and then when lawfare wasn't working, they tried to use bullets against him. And now what they, of course, in France, what they've done with Le Pen. I mean, does anybody actually think, oh, this is completely legitimate? Oh, this was not a political move. Them banning the candidate who represents immigration restriction and not trying to further the regime through warmongering. The welfare warfare state, invade the world, invite the world. Does anyone really think that's a legitimate case? Does anybody really not? Anybody who's paying attention? I mean, granted, there are people who don't pay attention, and I understand. I understand why people don't pay attention. They might find it boring, but also if it's not boring, it's just depressing, and it increases your feeling of powerlessness because you see what's being done, but what can you really do about it, right? And those who are trying to induce you to, quote, do something about it, of course, you know what they are, right? You know what they're all about. Capital F, little e, little d. Those people saying, somebody's got to do something about this. Somebody's got to take a stand. We've got to strike a blow. Why don't you go do that, little one over there? You with a goofy social media handle, anti-deep state 5042 at gmail.com. Why don't you do something? We know what that's about. So, yeah, ignoring what's going on and just trying to focus on things that you have control over. I'm not judgmental of that way of living at all. But I am saying if you are paying attention, it's harder and harder to believe that what they're doing is legitimate. And when you lose legitimacy, then all of your civics class, cliches are out the door. They're out the window. Nobody believes them anymore. All of this town forum shit, you're citizens and we're a democracy, and the way we protect democracy is by taking out those when an election doesn't go our way, it's a defeat of democracy. Like, what the hell are you talking about? The only way to defend democracy is to make sure that elections go the way that that we want them to go, I mean, you're losing everything. What I'm saying is they're losing everything. And it's the beginning of a great unraveling, I believe.